All right, what is going on, everyone? Starting up the podcast now. We have been joined by Karma Arts. Say hello to everyone.
What's up?
And yeah, we're just going to jump into it. Started off with a little 10, 11 question interview, and then we'll go into the major topics.
Awesome.
Alrighty, so first question coming up is going to be tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like, where do you come from? What do you do?
Well, my name is Chris, like most of you already know. I'm also known as Karma, and I'm from Estonia. I lived in England for over 8 years, and I just recently moved to Finland to live with my girlfriend now. And yeah, that's that's a little bit about myself,
All right,
personal life.
I
Yeah,
feel that. Well, that's cool. How is Finland?
yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, it's something to get used to,
I bet.
but different cultures always something to know.
Definitely. All right. Now, question two. How long have you been designing?
I've been designing for, jeez, 6. No, I'd say about 7 years in
7
total.
years. Damn. You
Yeah.
got 2 years on me.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long time actually. Yeah. I mean, I started off as I mean, the 7 years is not only in one profession. I did like many different things in design.
Okay.
So yeah, like I started off doing like 2D and just like learning and so on, and then just a couple of years back, I got into doing the 3D side.
Gotcha. Did you ever dabble into like motion graphics?
I mean, I did want to do that at one point. I always have that in my mind, but I never find free time to do that.
Gotcha. To
Like,
learn it and pick it up.
it's like I want to learn so badly, but you just don't have the time to do that.
It is. It's like walking into a completely different program.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
some of the
exactly.
things correlate, but not much.
Mm. Yeah, that's not very true. It's
Alrighty.
like, yeah,
And what are your yearly goals for designing for 2019?
for 2019. Oof. Well, at the moment, my goals is to just keep learning, just keep developing my skills further, really, and uh, try to grind as much as I can. And I've actually got like a little announcement. Hopefully this week I get to know from a company that I might be working for soon. I can't say now, but
Well,
hopefully
that's
it
good.
goes to plan, and then I might be moving. And but other than that, really, it's just every year I just keep developing my skills, trying to post as much as I can, and
Definitely.
you know that's how I
Yeah, just gonna keep learning and picking up new things.
yeah. Yeah, I recently got to it was like I think it was like 2 years back when I got into game art, like game designing, and I've been really into that now, and like I kind of want to push that further than like CGI and all the headers and so on. I think I enjoy that a lot more than anything else at the moment.
Yeah, definitely if you enjoy it more too. And you just answered my next question as well.
Oh, what
That would
what's the
be
next
what are
question?
your favorite projects to work on? So I'm guessing that's going to be the game design.
Yeah, exactly. That would be the favorite part. It's it is difficult. Like I do rage and I do get like angry and so on, but it's definitely I see more enjoyment in game art.
That's good. It's a lot more involved too.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It really is. Like there's so much like technical side of things that's on that. It's just not like doing a little 3D modeling and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm, there's quite a lot. I think someone in the chat said it's a bit too quiet.
Let's fix that real quick.
All right, cool.
Alright, that should be good now.
Okay.
Alrighty, on to the next question. Walk us. So, you said that you've been doing a lot of 3D work lately.
Yeah.
What would you? Is that what you'd say you like specialize in?
Yeah, I mean, I do specialize in a few things as like 3D is the main thing I specialize in, but I do like I can like I'm capable of doing like anything really, designing headers and so on, like you name it. But it's like I don't seem so into like creating them and posting them on my portfolio as I don't seem them. I don't see it as like a good quality like in my eyes. Like I don't know how to explain it really.
Yeah, no, I feel the same like with social media designs. They just kind of get boring after a while.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just might be me that's feeling that way, but it could be some other people too, of course.
Yeah, I feel like
Is it?
there's less like creative ability in there. You don't have as much creative room.
Yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, and I mean, my Twitter has been built up as like social media like side. Like since I first started, it was only social media every single day. Not every single day, like every single time I posted, and that's how I built up my fan base really. And then when I moved on to more realistic rendering, like I got more like less actives, like less people, like interacting with my
Yeah.
designs because like I don't know, so many people like it, like it's social media.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the main focus in like the gaming industry is like header designs and social media designs. And I feel like that's why logos get downgraded so much in that industry like they shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree on that. Like the headers are like the main role.
Yeah, the main focus.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, headers are absolutely amazing. It's great, and you can create some really awesome stuff. But I don't seem like you would get so far in life with it. As in my perspective, I don't see as I would get so far in life just creating headers. Like I feel like I have to do something more than just headers.
Yeah, explore more out into like different fields.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, next question. What is your go-to platform? Like example, Twitter, Instagram.
Go-to platform. Well, Twitter is my main platform at this moment of time. Like, I never use Instagram for my designs or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's always been Twitter, and now like a few years back I started using ArtStation. If you ever heard of it.
No, I haven't. Like, tell me about it.
It's like a portfolio site where you can upload your work and so on, and it's more based on the gaming side, like gaming
Okay.
development side. So it's like it's really cool. Like I see like a lot of inspiration and so on.
Yeah, I'm surprised I've never heard of it.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's actually really like inspiring website, like portfolio site.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about it more after the stream as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right,
But
next question. Do you think college is necessary for like a graphic design career?
wait, say that again, please.
Do you feel as if college is necessary to have a graphic design career?
Oh hell no. No, 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 no.
I feel the
No,
same. I get so fired up about it.
you know, I can talk about it all day, and I get like fed up when people say you need education for design, you need papers for design.
Yeah.
It's like you do not need a single paper.
No, not
All you need,
whatsoever.
all you need is a creative mind to physically make something. Because like I never went to school to get any papers or any design or any degree of
Yeah,
anything, and I can see how far I've become now by myself, by sitting at home, coming home from work, spending my free time doing this.
exactly. All self-taught too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, when you apply for companies, you say that you self-taught yourself, like you learn everything by yourself. They see you as a very creative person.
Exactly.
But obviously, some companies can be like strict and they want papers and so on.
Yeah, most of them want bachelors for graphic design.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are companies that look for bachelor degrees and so on. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, papers are of course another plus I wouldn't say it's needed as long as you are producing quality work.
Exactly. I feel like in the next few years too, it'll be changing more with like how education is perceived to have like a wealthy career.
Yeah, definitely. I agree on that.
Alrighty. Next, if you could collaborate with one designer, who would it be?
Who would it be? Hang on. One designer. This is actually I have to think.
It's a tough question.
It is, yeah.
Like any end of the spectrum, like gaming industry, like business industry, like any designer out there.
Who would I deal with? To be honest, I have no idea. There is like so many I would like want to duel with, but like one inspiration before I like before I like got really into all the realistic rendering was people.
Yeah.
The people, the 3D guy that does like dailies always, and like he does some amazing stuff. And I think I would probably pick him for the 3D side as like the duel with him.
No, that's a good choice.
He's insane. He's like his dailies are like not like very, I wouldn't say like amazingly like the best of the best. It's very creative, and that's what I like about him. It's like everything he does is very creative, and I'd love to like would love to do it with him.
Agreed.
But you know,
Some of those designers though are just like they don't have to put in effort whatsoever, and they're just like every design they like every project they put out is just so mind blowing.
yeah, yeah. It, you know, sometimes you don't have to put so much effort into it.
That's
Sometimes
true.
you do, and the bad thing about this community nowadays is that people like seem to push the quantity of quality. They seem to like constantly throw out as much work as they can, but the work isn't so, how would I say, like high quality and so on.
Yeah, like they're putting out quantity over quality.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and it would be a lot nicer if you take your time, don't post the five headers, for example, and take the five headers and put it into one,
Exactly.
and you can make a masterpiece, and you just get, I don't know. That's the way I would do it.
No, exactly. I feel like a lot of new designers and smaller designers get frustrated like when working on projects
Mm.
and just think that they need to put out like as many posts as possible, but like you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, more work is like more attractive. People see that, wow, you're like very active and you're posting constantly, but that's not the only thing. Always check that your quality's on point.
Exactly, because then it also shows them that you're rushing through work.
Yeah, yeah, it does that.
All right, next question. What are your hobbies outside of design?
My hobbies outside design. Well, the design is my main hobby. Uh, it's like, uh, I mean, I do sometimes. I used to play for a school
Okay.
football,
Yeah.
and I still love doing it. I haven't played it for like quite some years, but I mean, like, if I had a card ball in my hand, I'd love to kick about and so on. But
So the main, basically design's your hobby.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah, it has always been my hobby since high school. It was like all my mates like love to just go out, drink, or go out and do like things they wanted to do, just be out on the
Yeah.
streets constantly. And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna leave that on the side and
Exactly.
just work, learn.
It sounds crazy, but it like
Yeah,
some people just feel that way. It's crazy.
yeah. And I'm happy I chose that path. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Agreed. That's definitely the way to go.
Yeah.
Alright, so what are your plans for the future of your design career? Like, are there any specific things you want to do or achieve?
Yeah, well, couldn't really say what I want to achieve. I just try to keep pushing forward with my skills and so on. What I love to do. someday, in my life or in my career, to work for a movie company or or a gaming company,
Okay.
and like movie company is like that's like years and years away. Maybe that's like it's the may on a maybe list. But working for a gaming company is probably the thing I really want to achieve. It's working for a gaming company and creating your own game is something that's like really amazing. And then like people like playing your games. So
Yeah, I feel like if you're passionate about it, you just keep pushing. Like you'll get there 100%.
yeah, that's that's what you need. You need to push yourself constantly and
Just constantly improve and fall forward.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what everyone needs to do. Some days you're slacking and some days you just like got the motivation going. But that's life, really.
That is true. All right, last question. So already on the screen we have up your Twitter and your website, but if there's any other place that like the listeners can find you and follow you and stay up to date with you, let them know.
I think those are the main platforms. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention my website. Yeah, I just recently got my website done as well, and that's where I like mainly like gonna be like posting my work and posting like more products on the store and so on. And yeah, Twitter and ArtStation is just the main platforms I stay on.
All right, fair enough. I know I always stay to Twitter and like people tell me to go to LinkedIn and stuff to find bigger clients, but it's like Twitter's just so much easier.
Yeah, it is so much easier. Like I actually got told the same thing to like use LinkedIn and so on as well, and I just find yeah, Twitter it just like I don't know, it feels more comfortable to use and just yeah, it's amazing.
That's true. It's just easier. It's like the mix between like LinkedIn and Instagram.
Sorry?
I said it's kind of like a mix between Instagram and LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'd say so. Mm.
All right, and now moving on to the main topics. Our first topic is going to be essential social medias for designers.
What what was that question again?
So the topic is essential social medias for designers. So like Twitter, Instagram, whatever like you think is essential for a designer to market their work and post their work.
Hmm. Well, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, it's always good to have some sort of platform that people see your work, and Twitter is like the main part that I see like a lot, like where you can interact with everyone, you can post your work, people can give you feedback, and it's just amazing. Like clients can contact you and so on. I feel Twitter is kind of necessary in one way, but at the same time, the most important thing is your portfolio.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think definitely
Yeah,
Twitter is an essential one. I would say Instagram if you like know how to market on it and you know how to use it and like it's there,
yeah,
you might as well use it. I definitely think like you were saying a portfolio or a website that you have your portfolio on either or really like it works, but you definitely have to have a portfolio built up.
yeah. You can have 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and if your portfolio isn't built up, you're not gonna get any clients.
Exactly, because
I'll tell
that's
you that.
yeah, it's always the first thing asked for.
Yeah, and it's like if you have a good portfolio and people see you have a good fan base, they instantly realize like, okay, you have a good work, you have a very good fan base, you must be like, you must produce high quality as well. So it's like, I feel yeah, Twitter is quite necessary in one way.
Definitely.
Mm,
All right, next topic is developing a style as a designer. And I feel like this one, it's just comes with like time and working and experiencing like new things and going into different fields, like you said, going from 2D design to 3D design to game design, and like I think it's just testing all the different like groups there is in design to find out what you enjoy the most.
Yeah, well, that is actually quite hard to say because everyone is different. Everyone has their unique ways and unique ways of thinking. And like 1 minute, like I love doing 2D, like I loved it, like I loved everything about it. But I don't know what clicked onto me that suddenly I loved 3D. It just happened. I just fell in love with it out of all of a sudden. And it wasn't like I forced myself, I had to do it or anything. And I think you just have to take your time, do what you love doing, and it will eventually involve, like it will literally come to you what you actually like will do for like full time. Because a lot of designers have actually messaged me saying like they love doing one thing, but they also love doing this thing, and they don't know what like should do this or should I do that? And I've told them to like just like take the time and just wait for the moment, you know. But you just have to find yourself really.
Yeah, I
I don't know if
completely agree with that.
I don't know if I like explained it, I
Yeah,
can't
no, no,
explain
no.
it
You
very
explained it
well.
well. I think like the only thing to add really is I feel like watching tutorials on other designers and like looking at other people's styles and kind of like leaning off of those really helps you like build your own style. But
Mm-hmm.
it also comes with like design trends and stuff. Like styles aren't always the most important.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like seeing other people's designs, it's like nowadays in the community, it's like someone sees someone's design, they're gonna take it, they're gonna make their own version of it and
Yeah.
say this sort of inspiration. But back in the days, it was like chaos. Like people used to say like, "Oh, you're copying him, or you're stealing, or what you doing?" And you need to quit. And so it was like quite brutal in that way. And
No.
so like time has changed now, and people just like look at people's works and just like get inspiration. And I mean that is another way as well, finding your unique style. Like you're looking at other people's work,
Yeah.
you test it yourself, and either you like it or you don't. And yeah,
No, exactly. I agree with that. There's nothing more to add.
yeah. Mm,
All right, next
just
topic is worded weirdly, and it's literally the quote I got was about freelance. So I don't know, like, or should we tell them describe like what freelance is and like how it works?
well, freelance is basically working as yourself. You're like working, producing your products, and you're selling it to people. Like you're working for yourself, basically. And it's like it's something that is very difficult to achieve when you are not very known. You're a startup, and you're thinking about freelancing. It's something very hard to achieve. It takes many years to actually get to achieve that. And it was 2 years ago. I was into like very like social media headers, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And I had many clients on my Twitter constantly, every time, every single day. I want this. How could I do? Could you do this? Could you do that? But once I stopped doing them, I removed everything off. Like I didn't want anything to do with them
Yeah,
anymore.
you didn't want any trace of it.
Then then it just went away, and I couldn't be full time. I couldn't be a freelancer that much anymore, and it just went so quiet. And to be a freelancer, you need to produce the right content, and it takes years to build up. So like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know.
You explained that well. Um, yeah, I agree. It's like sometimes like when you said you transferred from 2D to 3D design or like banners from, to game
Mhm,
design, it's like you lose that following because you've built up on that style and like being known for that. And
mhm,
it's hard because like you'll have times when you can't find clients and like people don't need work done, and that's like the hard part about freelance is like building up that client base, like you know what I mean, like that
Yeah.
popularity you were talking about.
Oh yeah. 100%. It's very difficult actually. Yeah, especially when you are a startup and you just like start up like let's say you was good at designing, but you start up your Twitter, you're not gonna get thousands of followers straight away. It takes years to like build up, and that's where your clients really come in from. And I might have, I mean, I had over 20,000 followers, but Twitter had this sort of the new law
Oh
to
yeah, yeah, I
remove.
heard about that.
Yeah, and then they removed like 3,000 of my
Oh my
followers.
god.
Yeah, and
Must
then
have
it
been
went.
fun to wake up to.
It was not a nice feeling. And then I was actually thinking about leaving Twitter.
Yeah.
I was literally so mad. And then it went ultra quiet, and everything was just silent for months and months and months. It just like went away. It disappeared kind of.
The same thing
No.
happened with YouTube though too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard that a lot of people are losing subscribers. So, and,
It's weird that they do that. I don't understand the point behind it.
I mean, at one point in Twitter I think Twitter were talking about removing the like buttons as well.
Like why?
It must be something to do with I don't know some bullying or oh you've
Something.
got 500 likes, you've got
Yeah.
50, you're not welcome here. Maybe something like that. I don't know.
They're trying to make it like socialism the whole way around.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of ridiculous in one way, but I do agree on under 14 or 15, you shouldn't be really using because
Yeah,
there is some brutal things you see nowadays on internet.
exactly. All right. Last topic is going to be pricing yourself. I'm going to let you I feel like we should just give like our views on pricing and like how we value it and like how our
Mm.
pricing works, and I'll let you go first on that.
Well, for me, it's very much different because it's like the way I do my sales now is the bigger the project, the more money it's going to cost, and it's in 3D wise, it's you want to order a bigger model, like a
Okay.
bigger scene or anything like that, it's going to cost you a lot more, and the price can come from average, from 20 up to 500 or 1,000 or
Yeah.
like it can be a huge project. And for like a header, it's kind of like a fixed price. You can't go with like, okay, I'm gonna go with 500 or this header can be 1,000.
Yeah.
You can't really like go from
Exactly.
there. Like, but I mean, well, obviously as an illustrator, you could go pretty high. But as a 2D, I don't see that you can go so high with the prices. As in my personal opinion, I don't know if I'm right.
Yeah, no, I think
Or,
it depends really. It's like what you're creating too. Cuz like
mm,
obviously when you're dealing with like header designs and you're dealing with these like 14-year-old, 15-year-old clients that play Call of
mm,
Duty and don't have a job, like then you're faced with like you do have to charge like a really low amount, like 20, $30 for a header. But like
yeah,
I feel like when you're into different things, like when you're going into game design or like logo design or something like that, that's when
mm,
pricing starts to like not become a worry and like the
mm,
budgets start to get really high.
yeah. I mean, logo designs are huge. It depends how good you are and so on, of course. But
Exactly.
logo, like, they're huge, yeah.
Because
So it's,
the Pepsi logo resold when it was redesigned for $1 million. Right? Like it's
I mean, it
crazy.
depends on the companies as well. I feel
Exactly. It
like,
depends on who you're working with, how big they are.
yeah,
Because that really
you know,
just determines the value of it.
yeah, companies could pay millions for the logo. It's
And
insane.
it'll
But
be
I'm
the
not
same
saying,
picture.
yeah. But I'm not saying like like a company couldn't pay for the header. They could pay for the header for like 5,000, but it's like very rare, I guess.
Yeah, it's
But
rare because it's just really like I feel like banner designs and stuff like it's only needed in the gaming industry. Like it's just not really like worried about so much upon companies as much as like a logo design or advertisements are.
Yeah, yeah, I agree on that. Yeah, I mean, advertisements are like the key role into like it's very straightforward. Advertisements, you're advertising someone's product or something about the company. But like a header, yeah, it's more to the gaming side. But saying that, it's you're also making look you're making look you sorry you're making look the company's Twitter and YouTube and everything like very professional when you
Yeah,
have very good headers at the same time. So
exactly. And that's someone in the chat just said vloggers need banners too. It's like it's the
mm,
gaming industry, but then you also have to include like the full spectrum of YouTube. And then, I mean, obviously companies still need banners designed, like you were saying. Like it still makes it look better. It's just not as valued.
yeah, that's definitely agreed.
Well, all
And
right. If there's anything else you'd like to talk about or any questions anyone has in the chat, you guys can feel free to ask them or you can talk about it. But that's the end of the list.
yeah, see what if they need banners.
I know he just
They
said
need them.
vloggers at first, and I was like, what?
What's his favorite Pepsi flavor? To be honest, I don't know if there is many Pepsi flavors. I haven't heard of many. I think
Really?
there was Cherry.
There's like cherry, normal. That's it. I think there's vanilla.
Vanilla. Isn't that like the normal Coke?
I'm not sure.
Oh yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Is that a question to you,
We'll
or is
both
it?
answer it. Any questions that come in, unless they're directed.
All right. Well, you can go first on that one.
Geez, 5 years. Uh, God, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll be living somewhere else. I don't even really know where I'm gonna be in like 6 months. So I don't know. It depends. I mean, I hope to reach like I kind of set my goals like yearly and then closer from there. Like I don't really go in the span of 5 years, but I mean, if I would, I hope just to keep improving from like where I'm at. Keep growing. I guess.
Yeah. It's hard to say. Like, if you plan 5 years, you never know. Next day could be you winning a lottery ticket, and
Exactly.
next minute you're in Hawaii or you're in California or something. The life changes
Especially
so
with
fast.
like the job we have, like social media these days, and like how quick it is for someone to blow up. Like your 5 year plan could change in an hour. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's so true, and it's all to do with the creative thinking. Everything like is nowadays creative.
yeah,
Creative content. You're gonna blow up if you have something creative that no one has done.
yeah, just about doing something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Life can change in a blink of an eye.
true that.
Yeah.
All right. If anyone has any more questions, that was a good question. I've never thought about that. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while.
Yeah, me too actually.
I'm gonna
I just
start
think
writing out my life in the next 5 years.
yeah, people find things of industry.
Ooh. Ah, you go first.
Well. Well, I am definitely not going to be staying in social media industry. It's, I mean, I will be a part of it, but I will not. I mean, I will be in the industry, like still like in same as karma as I am, but I will definitely not be like a huge part of it, like full time career, just
Yeah.
doing headers or something. Hell no.
Well, they added to that question too and said, do you guys have a studio where you would ideally like to work in? So kind of like, would you like to take the like quote unquote like society standard career route, or would you like to push for that like entrepreneur outlook on it?
Sorry, what did you say at the first?
So they added on to the question and said, "Do you guys have like, or do you guys have a studio where you would ideally like to work in?" So I guess it's either like you're taking that cultural like standard of a career, like an office job, or would you rather go for the route of like social media, like the popularity and all that?
Mm, what do you guys? Mm, just trying to
It's a
think.
tough question, like, because it's also like, are you gonna have? That's like assuming you have the opportunity to stay in the social media industry, and that like
Mm,
assuming that you're gonna be big enough to like make a good living off of it.
I mean, staying in social media, I don't. Ah, it's hard to say actually. Staying in social media, it's like you you. Let me try to think this out for a second. You stay in social media. You upload constantly. I
Yeah.
don't see. I don't see like. Yeah, you can earn. Monthly salaries and like
Mhm.
really good amounts. But I don't see you will like at least 2D designers.
Yeah.
I think the 2D designers nowadays, I think they will stick to the esports. They will get
Exactly.
known from the
Yeah.
esports and so on. I don't see like a big future behind it. Like that's just my personal opinion. Don't
Yeah.
take it the
Yeah.
wrong way.
No. No. No.
But like it's it's just I feel like people we basically started off doing it as fun at first.
Exactly.
You could be lucky, of course, but
Yeah.
I don't think you could just jump in and think like, okay, I'm gonna work my ass off now, and I'm gonna definitely 100% now be I don't know somewhere like
Yeah.
huge, something like that. It's
I don't really like. I don't really plan on going in either. Like the social media route's cool, and like if it's an opportunity, I would love to do it. But like I'm
mm,
trying to. I'm striving more like business related. You know what I mean? Like not
yeah,
being known so much on social media as a graphic designer, but more so as like an entrepreneur, and like not just having a graphic design business, but like doing more than that too.
yeah,
So more
I
of
get
like a
you.
social like influencer figure.
Mm, oh yeah, hell yeah.
How long do you usually work on a project? I guess that really like it depends on like what you're working on. Depends on like the company you're working with, like all the details of it.
Yeah, that's very true. It can always be different, and most clients are like, we can talk about clients if you want. It's like
Yeah.
it's absolute joke, really. It's like some clients can. I had a client today, and he was absolutely amazing. He just popped up. But I popped up to him. I was like, hi, blah blah blah. Straightforward. I want this. Okay, I'll do it. Money transferred. Getting ready to start, and I'm ready. I'm beginning to
Yeah.
work. But some clients,
Dude,
it's like,
aren't those ones the best though? Like
which one?
the ones that just they come to you, they tell you what they want. You're like, "Yeah, I can do that." You give them a price and they're like, "Perfect." Then they send the
Yep,
payment. They don't complain the slightest bit.
yep.
Like they love what you create. It's just such a humbling experience. And then you have
Yeah,
people where you're sending over a preview 250 and you're just losing your mind.
yeah. It's like you literally just feel have that amazing feeling inside, like, wow, I just got a really good client.
Yeah, like
You just
someone someone valued my work.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's the other people, like 15 or 16-year-olds, or God knows, can be even older, and they go like, they talk to you for like an hour straight. They're like, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do
Yeah.
this. You plan everything, and you go, right, this is gonna cost this amount. Okay, I'm gonna get paid in about 5 days. I'll
Yeah.
come back to it.
Never
It's like
comes back.
never coming back. Yeah, never
Oh,
coming
that's
back to
so
it.
funny. I
And it's
love
just like,
those people. They're the best. It's like they don't want to make you feel bad, but like, so they're just trying to use it as an excuse. But you know.
Yeah, that like when you first hear it, it's like, ah, okay, fair enough. When you hear the same thing for the past few years, it's like, yeah, I already know. It's really just kind of annoying. And we could talk about clients all day. There is so many different clients. Clients that don't know what they want. They are they want something huge, but they can't pay for it, and they can be very annoying, very stressful, very just like not friendly. And that's what I enjoy most. And I enjoy when a client comes up to me and talks to me as a actual an actual human, not a
Yeah.
robot or something.
Not a computer replying back.
Yeah, yeah. Asked how my day was. How was your day? Yeah, it's been great. Thank you for asking. And then we can actually get into the
You love the
business side.
clients that you ask them how their day is, and they're just like, "Oh, it was good."
Yeah.
That's it. You're like,
No.
"Oh, cool."
Yeah. And they get right into it. Like, oh yeah. Can you change this now?
Oh god. I feel
It's
like
such
it's
a
like you kind of got to do a little interview, like a self background check in your mind when you're talking to a client, like at the off the start, because like you can tell clients that like you just don't want to work with them if they seem
yeah,
like that off the start, even though like it's tempting because like the payment's there, but like it's not going to be worth it 90% into
yeah.
the project, and you're thinking about like refunding them.
Yeah. That's one thing as well. The refunding. You know, there is a lot of people, a lot of clients I've had have sent payments through as a payment. What was it called again? Uh, Goods and services,
Yeah.
is it? And you get the money, you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like take it. Oh yeah, I got my money. Blah blah blah. Next minute, you send the design. They're totally happy with it. Next minute, next day, they send it to you. I don't like this anymore. Can I have my money back? And it's like, well, you just paid me. I wasted my time.
Yeah.
And then they will put like what's it called? Like a PayPal.
Dispute or whatever.
Yeah, the dispute, and then PayPal takes money off me, and then I have to contact PayPal, and it's
So
just
wait,
like
so do you still do payments that way?
payments.
Yeah, like
Sorry.
when you're charging clients, like do you still use that method?
Yeah, I
No,
still
no, you're doing it wrong. Come on.
what?
Dude, PayPal invoicing has changed my life.
Has it?
I used to deal with that all the time, and like you'd get the chargebacks and all of this. If you write up, so PayPal invoicing, right? You just go to it. They have templates and stuff. Designers, I think Visual Arts made a video on how to make one of the templates. So like he laid it out for you and all this, and then like in the terms and service it says no refunds will be like allowed or whatever. And then you can customize how much the client has to put down like as a down payment on the project. You can add taxes to it. You can add like item lines and descriptions and all this. I've found it's a lot better because they
I
can't charge back through it too.
holy fuck. I
Mine's
feel
been
like I just
blown.
it actually has. I feel like I just woken up from a stone age or something.
He's been lied to his whole life.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I
Let
haven't
me
heard
find
it
you this
before.
video. I'll link it to you through Twitter.
That would actually be a lot better to do it that way. A lot more secure as well.
Yeah, dude, when I found out about this, it absolutely changed everything. Here, I found the video.
But you can link it in the Twitch chat.
I'll do
Someone else will
that.
say as well.
There we go.
I'll definitely watch it
Yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
he lays it all out. I'm pretty sure he leaves something. Yeah, yeah, he put the invoice template in the description too. So he adds all the info and goes over all of it. And then,
But also,
hmm?
yeah. No, I was just gonna say like you can also make your own invoices as well.
Yeah,
But that's a lot more job, a lot more
exactly.
work.
It's a lot more thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are
Definitely.
super cool, dude. I definitely advise them, because there's also a section where you can check it when you're creating the invoice and sending it to the client, where they can add a tip if they feel like you've done like a good enough job or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll be
I have.
surprised, like a good amount of clients, like those ones that are actually easygoing and like nice to you, they'll like leave tips, and you're like, oh geez, okay.
Yeah, the nice people will leave tips, but
Yeah.
I bet they won't. Like 15-year-olds, if they see an invoice, they would probably block me. I'll probably just leave the complete, just like forget it.
I feel like the invoice thing also scares off some of like those worst clients, like those low budget, like annoying clients. I feel
Mm.
like it definitely kind of scares them off when they get it, especially when they see like the no refunds and everything. But
It's like they're thinking like someone's like buying their house or something when
yeah,
they see it. Like, oh, no,
they think
no,
it's a
I
legal
can't do it.
contract. I can't sign.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've tried doing contracts, I've tried doing goods and services, friends and family, but I've found PayPal invoicing definitely works the best. I've even tried like other invoicing websites, but I don't think any of them work as good as PayPal, although their customer service is awful.
Yeah, I agree on that. I'll definitely check on that video out. 100%. That's actually like something I need to start doing.
Well, and I'll DM you
Trying to
after
find.
this too, because I want to talk to you about that portfolio site.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Alright.
Mm.
We'll wrap it up if no one has any more questions. We've been going for 52 minutes. I'm pretty sure the first podcast was like 20 minutes. So it's a little
There's
longer.
a lot more chemistry was going on here.
Yeah,
I feel
definitely.
good chemistry.
Alright,
How
and he
much do you
said
guys?
sites cost. Uh, it depends, man. I strongly, like, advise any graphic designer looking for a website, do not go to like a website designer, because like you, no matter what, will be charged like over what you should be. And since you already have like that creative sense, I feel like going through Wix or something like that is a lot better and a lot cheaper.
Mm. I mean, if you go for a web designer and you're a graphic designer, in my opinion, I would advise to create your own create your own design, like like a rough layout, and
Yeah.
create your own design. You can give that design to the web designer, and he would probably give you a discount because you basically save the time for him to think how the design layout is supposed to look like and everything. So if you design it, it's you probably get you a lot cheaper website as well.
Yeah, I think so. I've talked to website designers before, and I'm pretty sure like exactly what you said is how it works. And I think that like that's cool. You can do that as well, and then you obviously have like the site fully encoded and everything. I just use Wix because then you can also go through and edit it yourself whenever you need to and whatnot. But
Yeah.
like someone in chat said, using Behance, like I don't think a website's like necessary for a designer. I mean, obviously, once you're starting to get more clients and like you can pay for it without any worries, like then definitely get one. But until then, like you're definitely fine to just use a normal portfolio website like Behance, Dribble, anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, kind of, but having the actual website, like buying the website is the most expensive. But after you have the website, it's like no money really
Yeah,
goes.
very
It's
cheap to maintain.
very cheap, yeah. But I mean, websites are very useful as well. Get the clients in from all over the world. It's on Google,
Exactly.
it's live. Could be any company suddenly next day message you and you could get yourself a few grand in your bank.
Yeah, typically bigger companies too are more
Yeah,
attracted when
yeah.
you have a website rather than just a portfolio.
Mm, definitely.
When is the next podcast gonna be available? This one's gonna be available on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, um, all on I believe Friday. They should all be out. But we just stream it a few days before, just so you guys can get early access to it if you want. But the recorded version will be up on Friday.
Awesome.
Sites are one buy or subscription. If you're going through like a website designer, it's gonna be like a one-time buy thing. But if you're doing something through like Wix.com or something like that, then it's gonna be like a subscription thing. So really, over time, like in the long run, if you're gonna have your website up for years, then definitely a website designer would be cheaper than the subscription.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
And some are even
100%.
free, like someone said.
And I just wanted to cover one thing up. Like me myself, I paid for a website and I got it through WordPress.
Yeah, yeah,
Is it WordPress? Yeah, yeah, it is
yeah, yeah,
WordPress.
yeah.
And it is not. I wouldn't say it's the easiest to like change like
Yeah, it's a
things
little
on there.
complex.
Really complex, but there's a lot more options in my opinion in WordPress. So
Yeah,
like you can
definitely.
change many things and you can code and it's
Well,
really
and the
cool.
thing on Wix I noticed is you can use like the normal editor, which is like super self-explanatory. Like if you have a brain, you're gonna know how to use it. But then there's also like an advanced mode that's like if you know a little bit more about like coding and stuff that you can dabble into that with it too.
Mm. Yeah, that's really good actually. Then I think WordPress has the same option. You can like have a front end developer where it's like you're literally on the front page of your
Yeah.
home page and you can just like click on images and change and so on.
Jeez.
It's quite easy, but you can always have the advanced complex mode. Jesus, can't get my words out as well. But yeah,
Is there a new schedule for the new EP or these podcasts random? Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think the days that the podcast will be streamed to Twitch will be random, just depending on whoever, like whatever the designer's schedule is. Like Carmen had to do it today because he's working every other day. So like in that sense, it'll change there. But with the recorded version, every Friday there will be a new episode up on YouTube, Spotify, and then Apple Podcasts.
nice. And I feel like I was like talking to my girlfriend today as well, and I listened to your first podcast as well, and I feel like this could actually get really far. Like you just need to keep going with this. Like this is a little what I think about this, the whole thing, and I think like no one has ever done this, and just keep going with this, and I'm sure amazing things will happen.
Well, thank you.
And,
I'm excited, dude. I was really excited to have you on.
oh, thank you. It's good to be here. Like I was a bit nervous in one way, but like
Dude,
after like we talked for a minute, chemistry worked. It's amazing because sometimes the chemistry doesn't work, and you
yeah, and
talk
it's
to someone
awkward
that's
the
like,
entire time.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
just
Dude, I did YouTube for like 3 years straight, and like, I was so good on camera, and then I just didn't record anything for like 2 years, and like, I'm so nervous starting the podcast and everything, but like you said, like, after time, it just like warms up to you more. And I'm
yeah, yeah.
definitely gonna duplicate and have like certain designers that like the viewers prefer to watch and stuff, and
Mhm.
I'll definitely like bring designers back on the show.
Yeah, um, sounds good, man.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. If no one has any more questions, it's about an hour long, so we'll probably cut it off there. But I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, man, giving your input, and your situation. And if you have anything else you'd like to say, feel free.
I think I've covered most of the things, but I know we could talk about all the clients and stuff like all day. It's it's literally
Yeah, I
something.
think also on the podcast, I want to start doing like I like this interview thing, but I also feel like bringing designers on and just talking about one topic for like you said, we could talk about clients for like an hour. So like
Yeah,
I feel like I want to do certain topics where we just set on one topic for like an hour, hour and a half and just go into that too.
yeah, definitely. I think that's really good idea. I think maybe someday you could even have like multiple designers in one call, and then everyone can
Yeah,
like
exactly.
say say their stories and have face cams up and whatnot. There is so many ideas. You know.
I know there's so many things to try with it and experiment because there's only like the only big design podcast that there really is the future, but they're also a graphic design agency. So it's like they're not even just a podcast. So like there's not really just a podcast dedicated to graphic design that's big. So obviously that's like the goal.
Yeah. A designer's Hunger Game.
And one client only. Oh no. That would be super cool if you think about it. Bring like a bunch of designers on and then like one client, and like each designer gets to have like a 5 minute conversation with the other client and like to see who he goes with.
You know, you could actually write that down.
That might
This is
raise some
actually,
tension though.
that actually is a really good idea. And then you could get like perspective from the client's eyes. Like the client has to choose one designer from the call. And it's like, it's a good idea. I like that. That would be a mess.
Yeah, I know. I feel like people are gonna get heated.
Yeah. If that happens, I'm onto royalties. Oh man. Yeah, that's been awesome talking to you, man. It's been good.
You as well, man. I'm definitely open to have you on the podcast again, and like I said, we'll start doing like new episodes and like different things on the show as well.
Oh yeah, man.
All right.
You know,
Well, thank you for coming on again, and thank you everyone for watching, the stream. And like I said, it'll all be on the 3 platforms, which is YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and then Spotify this Friday. And just stay on Twitter for either of our Twitters, and I'm sure it'll be posted on Friday.
awesome.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Peace out.
See ya.